Coming up, Kevin Klose has a raving and positive review of Ohana on this episode of the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 608 for the week of May 14th, 2013. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. Let the experts at Dreams Unlimited Travel help you plan every aspect of your Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, welcome again to the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for joining us. We do have a dining review with Kevin Klose. He went to Ohana, so we're going to get right into it. Again, like I said, I think it's going to be a raving and positive review, right, Kevin?
Yeah. We went to dinner. We made our reservation. We were asked to review Ohana, so we made a reservation.
Re-review.
And I really went with an open mind because I've never actually been a fan of Ohana. I went with an open mind, at least I tried to. We invited some friends who were in town, Kim Doherty and her son. I've gone completely blank and I can't. Jack. Jeez. Kim and Jack Doherty went with us. So there were four of us who went to dinner. I have to tell you, it is a mob scene at Ohana.
Really?
It is.
The entire upstairs is just packed with people.
Now, what time did you go?
I think it was like 6:30.
Right.
Okay.
It was actually the first seating for dinner because they did the thing where the people come out.
Right. Okay. Maybe it was earlier because we were right there at the beginning. Whenever you're right, they did their little.
And you had to wait in the line that wraps all the way around that upper
It
terrace.
wasn't even a line. There's a check-in desk over near the stairs, and then there's a standby line in case people don't show up. It's like waiting for extra theater tickets.
Before we go any further, Kevin, I completely forgot to introduce everyone at the table. I'm Dustin West. I'm your host, and this is John Magi, Kevin Klose,
Hi.
Kathy Whirling, Corey Martin, and Craig Williams and Sean Thompson back in the production nook. I completely forgot to do that.
They look startled. Like little chicks in an incubator.
I just got word that I think chat is back up working.
I sure hope so.
Thank God.
Wow,
And
such
based in
excitement.
relief.
Wow. I'm sorry I had to interrupt you, Kevin.
That's all right.
Please continue.
So we waited a couple minutes, but we were seated fairly promptly, even with this huge cattle call. We were given a table. We were seated literally right when you go in the front door.
Now, Kevin had to use the restroom, so we were seated while you were using the restroom. And they do the thing where they do the parade by the bread. Mm-hmm. This is the bread. And they present you, this is the bread. And it's like this big deal.
Now, we do have pictures. That was our table. That's it right there. We do have pictures of the bread. That's the kitchen.
the door.
That's where we were seated right in front of that.
Wow, I think we
So
had
they
the
came
same
in, they sat us in that sort of outer area, which was all as far removed from any window as possible.
Right.
Near the kitchen.
where the characters come in and out.
We were
as I-
between the restrooms and the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
And as I looked around, I'm pretty sure that's where they sat the ugly people. I thought, I'm not really happy about sitting here.
John felt judged.
I did.
They brought us the bread immediately and no butter. Nothing. Just bread. Nothing to drink. Bread.
Well, that's no good.
So we asked for butter, and the response was, yeah, okay. And he left. He didn't come back for a while, and it was about a minute and a half, and then everything came at once.
Oh,
There
okay.
was no idea of appetizer, entree. Everything
There's
was
no timing involved.
Right.
And I'm not going to be able to do it justice, but they do this. Here's your vegetables. And walked away. And you think, oh, gosh, this is going to be fun. So we had a bowl of, they called them, there's our salad. It has, people tell me they like it. I find the dressing overly sweet and oily.
And then they're very tricky. They hide mandarin oranges in it. What is wrong with you? Why would you put mandarin oranges in a salad?
That sounds delicious.
It's good. You don't like that?
That's been a fairly recent change, though.
There's a couple of things that make John skeeve out, and mandarin oranges and anything do that.
I'm eating my salad, and all of a sudden, like, there's a thing in my salad.
Want to watch him skeeve out again? Bread pudding.
Everything you're skeeving out on is delicious to me.
Oh my god!
So immediately after our salad, we got a bowl of spaghetti. Oh, you told me
Spaghetti.
they were going to be in order. They're not. We got pot stickers and chicken wings. Our pot stickers, I've never had pot stickers that were fried hard.
They're crunchy.
Yeah, like it was like a filled Dorito. I mean, it's pasta with meat inside it. This was more unto a Dorito with stuff inside it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be soft so you can cut it with a fork.
You know, these broke in half. And we got chicken wings, which were cold.
Really?
Tasty, but cold.
Huh.
Now, immediately, right after that, I'm going to wait until they put up the next picture. Yep, there's our bowl of noodles and overly steamed vegetables. The noodles were underdressed. It was pretty much dry pasta. And shortly after that, there's the vegetables. And they had been steamed just a little too long, which I found kind of amazing that we were there immediately. And how did it get cold? How did it get hard? And how did it get overly steamed? I mean, we're here at the very beginning.
Right.
We asked for new stuff. We asked for things that were supposed to be hot were supposed to be hot, and things that were supposed to be cold. And they did try and make amends. They tried to bring out new things. And
We got fresh chicken wings that were actually tasty.
Right. They were tasty.
Well, like you said, you guys were in the first seating. This should not have been a problem.
After everything has been dropped on your table from 1.5 feet and sort of clunk, the folks with the meat skewers started immediately.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the person who put the noodles and the vegetables on the table and the guy with the meat skewer were there at the same time. And this is all within about 5 minutes of sitting down. So there's pretty much, in our experience, there was nothing leisurely about this. And then the man with the ukulele starts to sing.
Right.
Now, one of the things I can tell you is we were seated so far out that the kids chasing the coconuts with the brooms came nowhere near our table.
We're too far away.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of a good thing.
Got to be closer to that center area.
We were not. We were, as I said, seated between the kitchen door and the
We
bathroom.
could hear him singing, and we could hear him talking. And at one point, apparently, he asked people about birthdays or anniversaries. So he did like 20 minutes of, it's Kathy, and she's 48. And it's
jeez.
Dustin, and he's 22. And at one point, I thought,
22.
I don't know how old
I'll go for 48.
6? I don't know how old you are. And at one point, I thought they were just raffling people off. I thought this was like a person.
Wow.
Are they auctioning off kids?
I thought they were auctioning off kids. It was like the weirdest
They
thing.
announced everyone's birthday.
Who's here celebrating vacation?
Right. It was just
Occasions.
occasions.
Do you think
Occasion.
that maybe they're speeding it up to get more people through? Because it didn't used to be like that.
Kathy, I don't know what they're doing. I find Ohana to be bad. I don't find the experience pleasant. I don't find the food good. I don't find the entertainment entertaining. And people love it. So we thought maybe it's us. Let's try it again.
And we have some pictures of the food on the skewers. And at one point, I stopped taking pictures of them because they were all the same.
Now, that is chicken and pork. Or as we like to call them, little brown knobs covered in teriyaki sauce and lighter fluid.
See, I usually I try to skip over the salad and the noodles and the pot stickers and all that stuff, and I just wait for the meat guys.
Just take the
there would've
fork
been
and
no way-
slide
Even
it
the
down.
chicken, I'll pass up the chicken. Just
See
bring
that?
the shrimp and bring the steak.
And here's what else bothered me. You see this plate? There was no clean plate between my salad and appetizer course, and then when they were finally, I said, "Please, can I have a clean plate?"
Now,
I was
if
getting
you're
grossed
eating
out.
the shrimp, you're also piling them on the plate that you're eating on.
Oh, because you have to peel them?
Yes.
Okay.
The shrimp are shelled, so you have to peel them, and they're supposedly hot.
Right.
But it's all, as John said, it's all one plate.
It gets very dirty, like you said. It becomes a
Isn't
dip.
that
Just-
appetizing?
Just sop your bread up with all that.
But didn't it used to be that the shrimp was peeled? I seem to remember that was a change, too.
It looks really good.
This is not only shrimp that's not peeled; they've like glued hairs to it.
Also not deveined.
Yeah, it's like it's got feet
Oh, yeah.
and a vein in it.
It had a tooth. I don't think that's a vein.
When I cut it, it said, ouch.
It moaned a little. The steak. We found the steak. That's the next picture, I hope. Yep, there it is. Oh. We found the steak. That one's almost not cooked.
I'll take it.
Okay,
That looks fantastic.
That is pretty much fat and blood.
Right.
That's all that's sitting on that
All I
plate.
can tell you is, please don't think that this is a piece of prime rib. I'm pretty sure this is a knee or an elbow or something. It is bone, blood, and fat. And we found the meat to be very unevenly cooked. Now, we were sitting right next to the grill.
Yeah.
So I think we were first on the rotation because the skewers were always full. The meat was either completely underdone or completely overdone. They would say to you, "What would you like?" And you'd say medium. "Oh yeah, this is medium." And then the person next to you would say, "I'd like rare," and they'd say, "Oh yeah, this is rare." So you'd think, "Oh, you stacked them perfectly, then, didn't you?" But it was amazing to me that it could go, you could get one that was warm at least or hot, and then the next one would be ice cold and uncooked.
Yeah.
And there were 4 of us, and we all kind of had the same opinion that everything had the same taste. This whole scenario is done much better at Texas de Brazil.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
This
Yeah.
is a very, very, very poor substitute. And this was $33.
Right.
It's only $49 to go to Texas de Brazil, and there you have the option of that enormous, glorious salad bar too.
I'm a fan of Texas
So-
de Brazil.
I understand the premise of this. It just didn't work. And it was this was a constant thing. I think I would want people trained. If there's people there cutting through the things you've already served them, chances are they're not ready for another one.
Yeah.
But it was like I was entertaining the skewer boys. It was like,
Well,
no.
and you have to take advantage when they come by because inevitably they won't come back for another 20 minutes.
Right. And again, you're piling everything on the same plate. We were there a full dinner, and we were done within about 50 minutes.
Wow.
And that's how fast everything went. I didn't find the things cooked well. I didn't find the temperature acceptable on most of the stuff that we were served. And I found the whole thing wanting. And I think to myself, I could spend $33 in a lot of other places.
I enjoyed, we went there for one of our 7-7s.
Yeah.
It was, I enjoyed it, but I skip a lot of the early stuff. And my issue with places like this, and this is just me, is that I eat fast and I eat a lot of food. So I find myself a lot of times looking for the skewer guy.
Yeah.
Corey, did you find the food hot, or did you have to ask for hot food?
Well, I don't like a well done steak. I don't like it moving, but I don't like
But
it.
you still like it temperature hot.
Yeah, medium rare to medium.
Right. That's how I would eat my steak. I don't eat
So
well done
sometimes
steak.
I would request, can I get a medium or medium rare?
But he means cold. It wasn't cold.
I mean,
No.
temperature
And-
cold, like ice cold.
And there were some pieces of steak that were better than others, but like I said, I eat a lot. I found the shrimp pretty consistent throughout the night. We were there. We were there later.
Yeah, we were there late,
Yeah.
and so I think a lot of the food that was coming off the grill was coming straight to us
Yeah.
because I don't think anybody else was
There-
eating. We were there at like 9:30.
We're not a lot of tables at all.
I also think for $33, your shrimp should be peeled and deveined.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun. Wearing a drop
you're
cloth.
using that
It
word
slows me down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it slows you down. You don't
I need
as
that.
many.
I need to be slowed down a little bit.
From what I remember, I feel like our service was kind of in the same vein as yours. It did feel like they were constantly, even though Corey said he's looking for the guy, it felt like they were kind of like, you need meat right now. Go. And
I also think they should give you a couple minutes between your appetizer, salad, chicken
Yeah.
wings, and
It used to be that way because that was when we'd have people come in from out of town. We'd always take them to Ohana because it was like a great place that you could talk and you could eat your little food, and then they'd start bringing the other food over. But now it sounds like they're just rushing you right
Very
through.
rushed. Very rushed.
we had everything that we were going to get within the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
Now they came around and asked you if you wanted more, and I think one of the best comments came from Kim. She said everything tastes exactly the same.
it's all got the same kind of spices on it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Lighter
a
fluid.
Lighter fluid and teriyaki sauce is what we think. It was. John said, "I'm taking pictures of little brown lumps, and they all look the same."
Or look, the place where we sat was terrible. The service was terrible, and the food sucked. Ohana really does mean family, because that's what happens in my family. Tell
So
them about the plate of dirty dishes. How we were right by the kitchen, and they had the.
oh yeah, they set up one of the the folding trays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they set up the folding tray with the big tray, the folding stand with the big tray on top of it, and that's where they stacked and scraped the dirty dishes. And they would take a butter plate and scrape all of the dirty dishes. So at one point, we had a platter of someone else's food refuse sitting right next to our
Oh,
table.
wow.
We
Staring at
finally
you.
said to them, "Could you move that?"
Take it back into the kitchen,
Right,
please.
or just put it, go put it near another table for a
Yeah.
while. That's
Yeah.
our turn's over.
Wow.
Share the wealth.
Right. Finally, now I just told you that one of the words that skeeves John out is bread pudding. So
I spend most of my time making my bread dry. There is an appliance. There is an appliance in my house specifically designed to dry out the bread. Why are you putting moisture in the bread? It's so gross. It grosses me out beyond belief.
this was the bread pudding with caramel sauce and vanilla ice cream.
It almost looks like French toast or something like that.
It actually looks good. I think it looks very nice.
The picture's very good. It's a great picture.
Yeah. Fantastic picture.
The picture's better than the actual item.
I love it.
I did too.
Whenever I eat there, which isn't very often, maybe a couple times a year, like I barely eat the meal because I just eat the entire thing of bread pudding.
you?
I think I was the only person who ate it whenever
Yeah.
we went.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think
He- he
anybody
was still
working
working
on
it.
What did you like about it?
I like
breadiness
I
and the
like
puddinginess?
bananas, and it's got bananas, and it has ice cream, and I like ice cream. So it's all
Caramel,
for me.
good.
It's warm, right? The bread, like the bread pudding part is warm,
Greg,
right?
I would
yeah.
agree with you with everything you just said. I love bananas, and caramel is one of my favorite things, and vanilla ice cream.
Yet somehow it tasted like lighter fluid.
It
No, it didn't.
No.
did not, but it was uneven. The edges were hard and cold, and the center hadn't been cooked.
That's
it
no
was
good.
kind of like it still had a runny, custardy feel to it.
Yeah.
It was.
Are we almost
I don't know-
done?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to defend Ohana because
Oh no, it's
I've
your opinion. You're welcome to your
I've-
opinion.
you
Absolutely.
Well, I've eaten there and disliked it more times than I've actually liked it. The last time we ate there, we were starving because we had went a long time without eating, and it's the group
Well, that
of
was
the
the
team,
deal
and we
with-
just had a good time.
That was the deal. Well, that also has to do with who you were with.
Exactly.
We had the same thing at the Liberty Tree Tavern. The food was terrible, but we were hungry
Right.
and had paid a lot of money for it.
We say this all the time. This is our opinion. This is a snapshot in time.
It's a
Please-
one experience
Right.
thing.
If you enjoy that bread pudding, bless you. I think it's great.
I
Thank
love
you.
bread pudding. John hates it. If this had been a well done bread pudding, I got the feeling that they started it like 15 minutes before we got there and tried to cook it too fast, so the outside was hard.
They
and
forgot
cold.
about the bread pudding.
Well, it's. My mother used to say it takes just as long to make bad food as it does
Yeah.
to make good food. This could be done so well.
And it's
Disney-
not like it's a new restaurant either. They've been doing this for a really long time.
I have a feeling what we experienced that night was quality control. And they had a mob of people to fill. However, I think to myself, bread pudding is a fairly simple dessert as far as desserts go. It's not hard to make. And at this point you should have perfected it. I should not have two different temperatures. I should not have hard and crispy and cold on the outside and mushy and raw
Yeah.
in the middle. That's poor planning, that's poor execution. And it sat there. Now, we had 3 adults and a 14-year-old. I apologize, Jack, if you turned 15. Please don't be mad at me. The 15-year-old wouldn't really touch it and said, this isn't very good.
Wow.
So it wasn't that I think we were being picky or snobbish.
Everybody at the table had the same opinion. That the food just wasn't good.
That's
So if,
sad.
if you had a great time with the group you were with and were seated in a great location and it was lively and you were having a good time, I think that adds to it.
Right.
We were sat in a really kind of poor location. But again, who am I to complain? Someone's going to sit there. I'll
Right.
sit there. And I think if the food was consistent and well paced, but again, I'm sorry, once you've had a couple of rounds of things, your plate is a mess. And most of the things served here have a sticky factor.
I do feel like when we were there last time, I don't feel like there was any offer made to kind of explain how this experience was going to go.
Right.
It's not like the server came up or the person that seated us said, "Look, here's how it's going to be. You're going to have a waiter that does drinks, and then you're going to have people coming by with skewers and stuff like that." They just said, "All right, here's your seat," and then you have like 5 different people coming to your table with the food, and you don't know whose attention to get. And
Usually restaurants like this or something that has a different way of serving, they'll say, "Have you eaten here before?"
Right.
No, well, let me explain to you what we're going to do today.
I think
You're right.
there was
none of that at all. It was just sit down, cousin, with the plates.
Wow.
I think there was a lot of server complacency too. It was like, you're going to eat whatever we give you.
Yeah.
It wasn't, no, to have to ask. I apologize for jumping back. You saw the pictures of those loaves of bread. That's kind of dense, dry bread.
John's favorite.
Without coming out with some butter or some dipping oil or something.
Yeah.
It
Did they eventually bring you butter? Or
a long time after we asked for it. But by that time, everything's on the table,
Yeah.
and you don't sit down and think, "Oh, well, now I want bread."
Well,
There was-
isn't the butter part of the explanation when you go past the whole butter stand? Like the bread
There's a butter
stand?
explanation.
I think they have like an
Yeah,
academia.
when-
You're right. She did say something about the bread was something and the butter was something. I don't know. I didn't pay
Yeah.
attention.
However,
We didn't get the
any.
butter.
So my opinion is your money is better spent someplace else. There are people who love this because their kids can chase coconuts around with a broom. And I think that's great. If you're looking for someplace that might entertain your kids, this might do it. They might love having their birthday mentioned during a 20 or 30 minute spiel about who's celebrating stuff in the restaurant. I think as far as the food's concerned, the best thing I could say about it was uneven. John, you did have one piece of steak that you said was good.
My first piece of steak, I thought, oh my God, the steak is good. Then everyone after that was terrible. So,
Yeah, for me, some were better than others, and I would just push those to the side and
Right.
ask for more.
But you eventually thought, okay, I'm going to get another good one.
Right.
Which never happened.
Yeah, ours didn't.
I would also say, don't wear a nice shirt to this experience.
You can get a little sloppy.
Even if it's not you doing it, they put these skewers over your shoulder and they're
Right.
slapping
Yeah.
stuff on your plate. So
And
wear
then they're
something
picking
dark.
up your butter dish right in front of you and scraping your garbage into another plate. So I find all of that not acceptable. I've been to Ohana several times. We thought the breakfast was good. The breakfast was very good. I've just never been a fan. If this is your type of thing, pay the extra couple of bucks for good food and go to Texas State
I
Resort.
agree with that. There's no comparison between the two. It's
Other
hard to
than the
compare,
fact that you're kind of the same style of serving food.
but the quality is light years
Completely
ahead.
different.
Well, it's quality and it's service. I remember before we ate there, the last time before that, I ate there with Kylie, my girlfriend, and my sister, and she's allergic to shellfish, so she can't get near the shrimp. And every time the shrimp skewer came by her, like, she's freaking out because if it touches her, her head's gonna just enlarge. And they just kept ignoring it.
Take her to dinner next time.
Like, they just kept
The
trying to
living
put it on
seas.
her plate every single time. Like, any other restaurant on property,
Yeah.
they've always been really good about allergies. There, it's like, yeah, whatever. Everyone wants the shrimp. We're just gonna put it on the plate.
And for those of you interested in Texas to Brazil, it's on International Drive. It's not too far from Disney, but it's not close.
I mean, it's not within walking
Right.
distance. It's probably a 15-minute ride.
And I would also say if you want to go there, go to their website, sign up for put your
Yeah.
email address in. They'll send you a coupon right away. I think it's
Right.
like 30% off or 40% off.
And this wasn't really about Texas Day Brazil. The only real connection here is the type of service.
Right.
They do the same thing with the skewers. However, you're getting really quality food. I understand that this is a big restaurant in the Polynesian, so it's got location going for it.
Right.
You can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks. If you're there at the right time, you're right on the monorail line. If that's enough, have a great time. If you're looking for good food, I would suggest you eat elsewhere.
Okay.
That's my opinion,
Very good.
and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't have a better experience, but
I had a great time with Kim and Jack. They were great fun to
Right.
hang out with. So, and it is what it is.
right. And
Ohana.
This is your second review of Ohana that's gone this direction.
It is.
Never again.
I'm done.
Three's not a charm.
No, we're not going back.
I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kevin. We appreciate it. And that is going to do it for this episode of the Diz Unplugged, and it's going to do it for us this week. Now, we do want you to stick around here. Coming up after this next break, we do have a show that we recorded yesterday. It's our Bob Varley Memorial Show. You definitely want to check that out. So we're going to have our Disney Park Bench, and then we're going to go into the Bob Varley Memorial Show. So make sure you guys stick around for that. It's a good one. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time on the next edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thank you, and have a great week.